Friday, January 31st, I thought of doing nothing as it was Friday and I had the whole weekend to myself. But my 8-year-old brain said, let's take me and two friends to finally go see the Dogman movie. So today I'll review over the Dogman movie. Now, as a first movie I went to go out of my way to go see in theaters with my friends, Dogman was an unexpected surprise this year. As a child, I had never had any interest in reading books, ever. Not even comic books, not even short little books. I never had interest in reading. Till one day in class, it was reading time. Since in elementary school, reading was a big thing, especially for me and my family. Since someone in my family does like to read a lot, I thought they would want me to read as well. So me and my friend chose books to read, and I stumbled on Dogman Unleashed. In my mind, I said, sure, why not? Just take the book for a spin, see if that was any good or not. And me and my friend read it, and oh my gosh, that was the moment I fell in love with the series. Even though it was the second book in the series, and I was confused as hell what was going on, I still loved the series. I read every book from that point and liked the series so much. Now in present time, teenager, I have not touched a Dogman book in many years. Of course, I see on social media the series is still going on, but I didn't have any interest to buy the new books, to spend my money on children's books now that I'm a teenager. So time passes by and then comes September 17th, 2024. School is miserable, grades are bad, and I haven't heard the name Dogman in a while, till DreamWorks posted something. A new movie announcement, a trailer. Dogman, a new movie by DreamWorks. I didn't excite too much. I thought it was cool, so after The Wild Robot came out and we saw that, I planned to go see Dogman. January 31st, the day came and I had no refresher on any Dogman book. I planned to check out Dogman books, but I never really got to it, so I went into the movie blind with little memory of the books. So how was the movie, you might ask? Amazing. I loved this movie so much with its compelling story and good pacing. This movie was a good movie. One person to my left hated it and the other on my right liked it. I loved it personally. This movie took me back to when I was a little kid and very nostalgic, bringing every element from all the books, putting it together to one movie. But because they made this decision, they're most likely never going to make a sequel. Just like the Captain Underpants movie, the animation in the Dogman movie is average, basically the same as Captain Underpants, but like the Captain Underpants movie, this movie was gas. DreamWorks took their shot and they made it work. They made a Dogman movie work. And it worked effectively because this movie made me love Dogman again. And what made me like this movie was its story. In the beginning, Dogman was a regular man named Greg, and he had a pet dog, and they were both working for the police force. But one day, they get into a nasty accident caused by option, but to combine both of the bodies of the dog and the man, creating Dogman, sewing the head of the dog onto the man's body, so combining the smarts of the dog and the kung fu skills of the man. Right away, this movie wastes no time and introduces us to the elements of this universe. Petey the cat, the police station, everything. And Dogman and Petey's rivalry leads to the creation of Little Petey and Flippy. While Flippy is designed to be the most evil fish in this universe, Little Petey really conveys the theme of this movie, the importance of seeing the world through a good view, and another importance of having friends and family around. In the beginning of the movie, Dogman is created, but all alone, living in a small little doghouse, until Little Petey is abandoned by Petey and meets him. They start living together, but then Petey feels alone, and then Dogman starts feeling alone again once Petey steals back Little Petey. It's kind of confusing, but if you really follow it through, you'll get the whole gist of it. So well and good. They really should not have named this movie Dogman. Obviously, since the movie is named Dogman, his character is well done in the movie. Obviously, he doesn't speak, which is a good decision, because I would have liked this movie less if they got some washed actor to voice him, like Adam Sandler or Mike Myers. But back to Petey the cat. His character is so good. He goes from the most evil character in the movie, wanting to get rid of happiness and every do-gooder in the city who is so happy or good. But when he creates Little Petey for the purpose of him being evil, and he is good, that when eventually Petey abandons him, he is all sad and alone, till when he is finally accompanied by Dogman, he is happiest. It's like every character in this movie cannot be alone without needing to be accompanied by someone, or by Little Petey specifically. That system of the movie between those two characters and Lil Petey is so well done, trying so hard to convey the theme of the movie of the importance of having friends and family around. Now, the voice acting in this movie was alright. Definitely not what I was expecting, but it was alright at best either way. But the comedy in this movie was sometimes funny. Only sometimes though, because most of the time I was laughing or just staring straight into the screen. Because this is obviously a children's movie, so obviously some of the humor would be too childish or dead-ass adult for the entire theater. The pacing in this movie was acceptable. It was able to tell this story the movie was trying to tell, and to tell the dramatic and tragic stories of Petey and Dogman. Now, as a kid, I didn't realize how sad Petey's story was. Of course, I read the books thoroughly, but I didn't notice how tragic it was. I just kind of shrugged it off. But then maturing later into a teenager, I realized Petey the cat has to be one of the most tragic characters in all of book fiction. Now, in this movie, this iteration of Petey is just desperate and miserable, and of course sad, but it's not really explained well through the movie. But his story in the books is way more tragic, and it shows how bad his life went downhill. The action in this movie really pops out, just like Captain Underpants, and all of that is what I really liked about the movie, and how it was such a good adaptation to the series as a whole. Not just one or two books, this movie took all the elements from the books and combined it into one epic movie. Although this movie was so good, but since it's been 7 years since Captain Underpants came out, there is likely no hope for a Dogman sequel. And now on to the movie was either done so well or acceptable, but only mid thing was the movie was a bit childish sometimes. But it's a kids movie and had mixes with some adult jokes and some adult themes, so it wasn't really a problem. If I were to rate this movie, I say 8 out of 10 for the first movie I watched in 2025. This was surprisingly good. With all that out of the way, if you're a fan of the books, this movie is definitely for you, balancing comedy with a serious theme and tone. And if you're not a fan of the books and you haven't read them, then if it's basically just a normal movie. It's really good if you just go in blind with no books or yes books. Anyway, that's it for this review. So bye. See you later for the next review. Goodbye, everybody.